The Ethical Challenge, a banker's key ethical test. Much of today's debate about our industry is focused on how to rebuild public confidence and trust in banks and bankers. But, to our mind, it's the rebuilding of pride within the banking profession itself that has to come first. For how can we ask the public to be proud of what we do until we're proud of our contribution to society ourselves? In this series, we've tried to present banking not as it is, but as we think it should be. The fact that many parts of banking and some bankers lost their way in recent years doesn't mean banking can't, or that banking shouldn't, rebuild its foundation. Banks, after all, have faced financial and ethical crises in the past, but throughout this, a large number of banks and the great majority of bankers have persisted in doing the right things by their customers with an undiminished sense of social purpose. And, when it's done well, banking does indeed serve many proper and positive social purposes. It allows individuals to save and borrow, it facilitates payments, it helps businesses to grow, it's the very foundation of modern economic life. This is a noble mission. But that's the point. Banking is the foundation, the essential facilitator of these indispensable social purposes. It isn't and should not become the goal in itself. Looking at the ethic of banking, it's clear that banks don't exist solely to make money for themselves. The purpose of banks is, and should be, to support the economic growth of society. That's the core test of the ethic of banking. And, at the heart of this ethic, the key characteristics are stewardship and professionalism, bankers taking their wider duties and responsibilities as seriously as other professionals would. Stewardship, because it defines a banker's primary purpose, which is to husband the financial and other resources belonging to others and make best use of those resources for an overall social good. And professionalism, because it acknowledges a wider public interest, a recognition of the asymmetry of information between banker and customer, and a dedication to resolve conflicts of interest in ways that won't disadvantage the customer. These are our ethical expectations of bankers. This isn't impossibly idealistic. The fact is that people do go into banking to do good things for society, and, yes, to make money in the process. But so do other professionals, such as accountants and doctors. They go in with positive intentions. We may debate whether a particular bank is currently structured to reinforce this sense of individual stewardship, but in the end, what's critical for employees, for banking professionals, is the depth and sincerity of their own personal professional commitment to serve their customers and to preserve their customers' financial health and wealth. Sustaining this commitment clearly has implications for individual bankers, but also for organisations, for the banking industry overall, and, indeed, for society as a whole. For individuals, the key is your meaningful individual commitment to banking as a professional career. This means adhering to the Chartered Banker Code of Professional Conduct, developing the knowledge and skills you need as a professional banker, mentoring, coaching, inspiring your colleagues and future generations of bankers, and promoting a professional ethos within your own working circle. Even if large parts of your own organisation are not professionalised, it doesn't mean that you and your immediate colleagues shouldn't be, nor that you shouldn't do what you can to develop, demonstrate and reinforce professional norms where you work. It always comes back to the individual and comes back to you. For institutions, it's clearly vital for banks to nurture and encourage an individual commitment to professionalism. Firstly, by actively supporting individuals to gain and develop the knowledge and skills they need, and secondly, by recognising and rewarding those who make this professional commitment, not just those who make the money for the institution. And for the industry overall, we'd like to see a wider collective recognition by banks, regulators and policymakers alike of banking's professional status. This means, firstly and foremost, accepting that banking is no longer viewed purely as a trade, but as a profession, and then supporting the industry's emerging professional structures and making it clear they are expected. And for society, What we're working for is a much broader popular acceptance that banking is not simply a utility, but is a profession. Banking is not a get-rich-quick scheme for bankers themselves or for their customers. For society as a whole, it has a much more profound purpose as the essential facilitator of modern economic life. If the recent banking crisis exposed nothing else, it showed the depth and indispensability of that social mission, and the devastating ease with which public confidence and trust in that social mission can be undermined. But we'll fully recover that historic public confidence and trust in banks and bankers only by rebuilding banking's own professional pride in itself and our pride in ourselves. This really does have to come first. As we said earlier, how else can we expect the public also to be proud of what we do if we're not proud of what we do ourselves? Yes, we can and certainly should spend time defining the mechanisms of our meaningful commitment to professionalism. We can list all those specific behaviours with which we'll reinforce our customers' trust in our integrity and our stewardship. We can remind ourselves exactly how to convince our customers of our genuine interest in their affairs rather than purely in their purchase of our next product. All this is perfectly valid. But truly, the ethical test for each of us is perhaps simpler than any lengthy list of acceptable behaviours and any catalogue of desired professional qualifications. We really need to do no more than simply ask ourselves again and again, am I proud to sell this product? Am I proud to offer this service? Am I proud to work in the manner I do? Am I proud of what I do? Am I proud to be a banker? Thank you for listening. Please visit our other case studies and discovery sessions in the Ethics, Culture and Conduct Toolkit, and please do share your views with other session participants on our discussion forum. And remember to record your time as professionalism and ethics on your CPD logbook. Thank you.